Long ago, in Baghdad, there lived a caliph who was famous for his kindness and open heart. Once every year came a day when destinies were changed. On this day, the caliph gave wealth to those whose gifts seemed truly valuable to him. Thousands dreamed of reward, but only a few left with their hands full. But while the city shone with light and hope, far away on the edge of the desert lived a poor man and his wife, struggling with hunger and endless dust. Every evening, the wife looked at her husband with sad eyes. "We are always hungry and poor," she said softly. "Other families live well, but we suffer." The man touched her hand. "Be patient, my dear. We must thank God for what we have." But her tears made his own heart heavy. He deeply wanted to change their life and make it truly happy. One night, the wife said with hope in her voice, "Soon will come the day of hope. Go to the caliph with a gift. Maybe he will see us and change our fate." The man nodded, but worry darkened his face. "How can I go without a gift? Only worthy gifts receive a reward." The wife thought for a moment and then smiled gently. "We have nothing, my husband. Only our small clay house that keeps out the wind, a few old pots, and the mat where we sleep. Nothing more. But we still have the water from our well. Take it. In the desert, water is life. Let this be our gift from the heart." The man filled the jar with the sweetest water, tied it carefully, and held it close to his chest. Then he began his long walk through the hot desert. The sun burned his skin, his lips were dry, and his legs were heavy. More than once he almost dropped the jar. At night, when the cold wind came and stars filled the sky, fear spoke to him. "What if you die here? What if you never reach Baghdad? What if the day of hope passes and your wife waits for nothing?" His heart shook. For a moment, he thought about turning back. He imagined returning to his wife alive, but empty-handed, and nothing in their life would change. Then he remembered her tired eyes and her quiet tears. "No," he whispered, hugging the jar. "If I return with nothing, our life will never change. I must go on. I cannot miss this day." Step by step, with pain and hope mixed together, he walked toward Baghdad. At last, he saw the golden domes shining in the distance. When he entered the city, he looked at the rich houses and proud people, and shame filled him. "My gift is only a jar of water," he thought. "How can it matter here?" The guards of the caliph welcomed him kindly and led him into the great hall. The poor man stopped in silence. All around him stood people from many lands, each waiting to offer their gift. One man brought a great elephant, covered in the bright clothes. Another led a tall horse with a long shining mane. A traveler carried baskets of fruits from far gardens, while another brought rare spices that filled the air with a strong smell. Some brought caps with rich colors, others carried birds with bright feathers that sang strange songs. The poor man looked at his small jar of water. Shame filled him. His hands shook. Compared to those wonders, his gift seemed nothing, and for a moment, hope left his heart. Still, he stepped forward. With trembling hands, he placed the jar before the caliph. The poor man bowed his head and whispered, "My lord, I am a poor man from the desert. I walked many days with nothing but this jar of water. I know it's small, and I feel shame when I see the great gifts of others. But it is all I have, and it comes from my heart. And please forgive me if it is too little." The whole became silent. The caliph looked at the jar for a long moment, and the poor man's heart beat fast. At last, the caliph spoke, his voice calm but strong. "Many bring me gifts from far lands. Their gifts are strange and full of wonder, but they cost them little. You walked alone across the burning desert, afraid of thirst, afraid to miss this day. Yet you carried this jar as if it was your life. You gave what was precious to you, and that makes your gift greater than all their wonders. He turned to his servants and said, "So fill this jar with gold, give him clothes and food, and send him home by boat on the Tigris River, so he will not suffer again on the long road." When the man stepped onto the boat and saw the wide river flowing endlessly, tears filled his eyes. His little jar of water seemed so small beside the mighty Tigris. Yet the Caliph had accepted it with respect and had rewarded him richly. Even the smallest gift, if it comes from the heart, is more valuable than all the riches in the world. A gift is not measured by its size, but by the love and the true intention with which it is given. And just like the poor man's jar of water touched the heart of the Caliph, your small gifts can bring joy to someone in ways you may never expect.